17th of January 2025. Hi guys, welcome to Rants, the comedy and tragedy of living in Singapore. So what's new? Speaking at an appreciation dinner held in the honour of Senior Minister Lee Hsien Loong by organisations from Singapore's Indian community on the 11th of January, SM Lee noted that the issue of immigrants and foreign workers raises political sensitivities in many societies. However, he opined that we are heavily dependent on these folks to top up our population base and talent pool. Therefore, we must manage the inflow and integration of new arrivals with the utmost sensitivity and caution to ensure that the flows are balanced and sustainable. We must also stand firmly against nativism and xenophobia and welcome our new arrivals to become part of our extended family. Yes, baby, it's a marriage of convenience, but just bear with it. It's good for Papa's business. SM Lee goes on to say, I quote, "We should help them to adapt progressively to the way we do things in Singapore, to our social norms and ethos. It is an ongoing process, but gradually, with the passage of the years and the generations, the new arrivals will integrate into the local community. This is how earlier generations became Indian Singaporeans and will happen with this generation and with new arrivals from other groups and places too." Unquote. Now, SM Lee is entitled to his dreams, but what is the reality on the ground? The Indian migrants don't even integrate well with our local Indians, let alone our other races. It takes a very naive or intelligence-insulting person like Kelvin Ching not to notice the virtual enclaves that exist on social media. I managed to infiltrate one before I uninstalled WeChat, and I must say that some of the things that are said and shared can be quite disturbing, especially when these folks are holding relatively important jobs in Singapore, while their hearts are still attached to their motherland. So what if you compound the racial mix and park them side by side in a housing estate? People communicate differently and physical proximity count a lot less nowadays. Our early immigrants were in a totally different situation. The circumstances were totally different. There was no internet and no cable TV during the time when British author Salman Rushdie migrated to England. He wrote that despite hailing from India, he became thoroughly British in no time. Nowadays, immigrants can choose to remain attached to their motherland through social media and cable TV. Not surprisingly, many of them never made friends outside their community or accepted the local culture. Not only that, some of them are actually starting a revolution in their new homes to educate and rehabilitate the decadent Westerners. Sure, we are not as liberal and politically correct to let in so many refugees, but the higher their numbers, the smaller will be our numbers in comparison. The risk to our national security will rise exponentially. It may well begin with food. There's even mala flavour in our Yong Tau Fu stalls now. I have nothing against Sichuan food. I even have it myself once in a while. But for goodness sake, don't contaminate and adulterate our local flavours. Actually, things could have gotten worse than that. Douyin influencers have gained millions of views and followers by denigrating other countries that they travel to, saying that they are backward compared to China. But Singapore is not exempted. While I don't care what they say on Douyin, it would be an ultimate slap on the face if even prominent figures in our local community agree with them. 反客为主 is one of the 36 dirty tricks from ancient China. Even bigger European countries are seeing their culture being challenged and eroded by immigrants. It's mind-boggling that while our vulnerability is often used as an excuse to curtail press freedom, the massive influx of foreigners, with our population doubling over the last 30 years in spite of low birth rate, it is not seen as a significant risk. Considering PRs as locals and giving out citizenship to improperly integrated foreigners is a good way to switch off the alarm. A Chinese national aged 41 and two Singaporean men, by the definition of our nation-building media, aged 53 and 57, were hauled to court for urinating in public. The MRT stations where they made a splash were Outram, Tanah Merah and Potong Pasir respectively. The first man, Lee Guorei, was fined $2,000. Our MRT stations should seriously consider getting these signs. Since they accept customizations, we could buy these signs from Taobao and add a zero to the fine. The reporters may think that it's reassuring to mention that two of the perpetrators are Singaporeans, but even if they were true Singaporeans, it's even more worrying because our citizens have picked up their habits instead of the other way around. It just came to my attention thanks to a Mothership report, but in October 2024, about the same time that I did my Manaslu trek, 55-year-old Yusuf Latif raised the PAP's flag and the Marine Parade 50th anniversary flag during his trek to Everest Base Camp in Nepal. Now, what made Yusuf Latif, PAP Marine Parade Branch Secretary, fly the PAP flag at Everest Base Camp in October 2024? Well, according to Mr. Yusuf, the expedition taught him to better appreciate life and to have compassion when he serves the community. Now, he left the PAP flag at a friend's trekking lodge in Gorakshep and not at Everest Base Camp itself. Now, Mr. Yusuf has set the bar, albeit not a very high one. May I suggest that others willing to show their loyalty to the party climb all the way to the summit and fly the lightning flag up there. Good luck. As some of you may already know, I used to climb a 3,000-meter Indonesian peak every National Day and unfurl the national flag on the summit. Beginning 2016, I climbed Gunung Merbabu in 2016, Gunung Rinjani in 2017, Gunung Sindoro in 2018, Gunung Lawu in 2019, Gunung Agung in 2022, Gunung Kerinci in 2023. I called it NDP, which stands for National Day Pendaki. But nowadays, I don't climb on National Day and I don't bring the flag up anymore. I simply can't get myself to fly our national flag proudly on the summit of a mountain on National Day when loyal and outspoken fellow Singaporeans are POFMA'd or even sued for doing things that concerned citizens should do. Hi guys, it's the 9th of August 2023. You know what day it is. I'm at Shelter 3 of Gunung Kerinci now, just back from the summit. I left this place at 5:30 a.m. this morning and I reached the summit at 7 a.m. Now I'm back at Shelter 3. Safe descent for this part. I'm also glad to say that the group of youngsters, Singaporeans I met on this trip, every single one of them reached the summit. Now, this is supposed to be NDP, but I can't celebrate National Day in a meaningful way when there are fellow Singaporeans who are being POFMA'd, being forced into exile and so on. Hopefully by next year I'll be able to do NDP in a more meaningful way. Alright, time to go down. I'm equally disappointed with the overwhelming majority that gave away our second key in return for some online. Kerinci 2023 was my last NDP. I've always said that it's not so much the government, but the people. Historian Tam Ping Jin said that the PAP will never lose an election. I agree, but I disagree with him that elections are not free and fair. Maybe they're not fair, but They're always free. Nobody can force you to mark a cross in a lightning box. People do so not because they think it's right. They could be the same people who mock the PAP anonymously on social media. They make them win, expecting goodies in their estates, and an MP who can help them skip the queue. Too many privilege seekers without any principles. Paswap among us. Gyasu, Gyasi, Genpeng. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe.